I sat in the pen, my mind racing. I needed a way out of this situation. The thought of discovering what the so-called punishment would be was unbearable. I decided to approach the older gentleman in the suit, the one who claimed to have been here for 30 years. "I don't know what the hell this is, buddy, but let's make a plan to get out of here," I said, desperation lacing my voice. The man looked at me with a perplexed expression. "Get out?" he repeated, almost as if he was questioning the very idea. "The tree, Susu, takes care of all our needs." "What?" I shot back, disbelief coloring my words. "You like living like this? What the hell is this? Is this a dream?" The man remained silent, his eyes distant. Frustrated, I yelled at him, louder this time. "Is this a dream?" Still, no reply. Just then, the younger woman with red hair came over and pinched me. "Does that feel like a dream to you?" she asked in a slight southern accent. "No, it doesn't," I muttered, rubbing my arm. "What's your name?" "My name is Sherry, but everybody calls me Choo-Choo because I'm like a train," she replied with a small, mischievous grin. I looked at her incredulously. "I'm not going to call you that. I'm going to call you Sherry. Is there any way out of here?" Sherry paused for a moment, looking up as if deep in thought. "Well, honey, I've been stuck here for a couple of years now. If I knew a way out, I'd be long gone. But I can assure you, this ain't no dream. I thought the same thing when I first arrived. I don't have time to fool around," I said, half hungover and fully desperate. "Show me what you're working on." She led me to a corner of the room, away from the businessman and the black woman, who seemed disinterested in our conversation. There was a worn carpet on the ground, and Sherry lifted it up to reveal a small hole. "Now, honey, I've been digging this hole for some time," she explained. "If you help me, we might go faster. But we have to be careful. If Susu catches us, we're in for a real punishment." "Yes, I'll help," I replied instantly. "Let's get the hell out of here as fast as we can." But Sherry shook her head. "It's best we all go to bed now," she advised. So, I reluctantly did as she instructed. The man, the older woman, and Sherry all lay down on what looked like sleeping bags on the floor. But I couldn't sleep. I lay there, eyes wide open, until morning finally arrived. We spent the entire day in the pen. The tree woman, Susu, or whatever they called her, never appeared. I soon learned that we had a fruit basket that mysteriously refilled at certain times during the day, and we relieved ourselves in a giant hole in the floor. But what would my punishment be? I approached the black woman. "What's your name, baby?" I asked, trying to lighten the mood. "My name is Loretta," she replied, her voice tinged with sadness. "I used to be a nurse at Sacred Heart Hospital. One day, after a late shift, I went out for a smoke break. Sometimes I walk in the park. It wasn't night or anything, just a little dark out, you see. Nobody else was in the park. The next thing you know, I was here." "Damn," I whispered, feeling a chill run down my spine. "Do you have any idea when my punishment is?" Loretta looked around cautiously. "Whenever the tree creature comes back. Susu, I think her name is. She's had lots of people here over the years. Once they die, she buries them in the back. But she never kills anybody. At least, I haven't seen her kill anyone yet." "Really?" I muttered to myself. "So, when is the punishment?" "You just have to wait and see. If I tell you, she'll punish me too." I was about to ask more when I noticed the 3 other people watching a small TV in the corner. I joined them, but my mind was elsewhere, fixated on what my punishment might be. We watched a couple of boring old court shows, but all I could think about was being trapped in this subterranean prison held by some ancient tree goddess. Then, The moment I dreaded finally arrived. After the TV shows wrapped up, the giant tree woman flew back into the subterranean house, dungeon, whatever it was. She looked at me in the pen, her eyes narrowing. "Punishment time," she declared. Before I knew it, she grabbed me and flew me into another part of the house. She dropped me down a large chute, and when I landed, I found myself in another room. This time, she was different. She had shrunk down to about my height, maybe a bit taller, around 6'4". "I'm sorry I have to do this to you," she said, her voice almost sad. "You're going to be living with me now, but first I have to punish you." A gulp caught in my throat. "What's this punishment going to be?" I managed to ask, my voice trembling. She pulled down my pants and took out a paddle made from the oldest tree in the forest. "Man came and cut it down. Man destroys the forest. Man hates nature. You're about to be punished for that." She hit me with the paddle 30 times. "Ow, ow, ow," I screamed in pain. After the beating, I shakily asked, "Is that all? If you're bad again, I will punish you again," Susu said, her voice stern. Before I knew it, I was back in the pen. Loretta and the man, who I learned was named Richard, watched as Sherry and I became quick friends over the following days and weeks. We would watch TV, eat our fruit together, just trying to pass the time. One day, while I was eating an orange and Sherry was eating a mango, she told me something strange. "You know, this isn't the only pen she has. She has at least 3 of them." "Really?" I replied, shaking my head in disbelief. "Yes," Sherry continued. "I was in another one with 4 other people. Me and one of the women were planning to escape, but the other woman got scared and told Susu. She decided to separate us and put me in this pen." I looked at her, my eyes serious. "Be careful who you trust." "I know it," she replied. "But you can trust me. I'd rather die than be stuck here. I'll do anything to get out. But I don't think digging our way out is the answer. If we dig, we're just going to end up underground even more. But I can probably help give you a lift out of this pen. There's a table. If I stand on the table and you stand on my shoulders, maybe we can get out. Maybe we can get out of the situation that I can't believe I'm in. Are you sure this isn't a dream?" Sherry sighed, exasperated. "Don't make me slap you, okay?" Okay, I said, realizing she was serious. We continued talking, making plans. "Sherry," I said, "do you know when the tree woman, Susu, isn't around?" "Unfortunately, she's always around," Sherry replied. "And when she's not, we don't know. But I do know she sleeps once a month for 3 days." "What?" I asked, shocked. "Yep," Sherry confirmed. "She's some weird type of creature. She stays up for days at a time and then sleeps for days at a time. But I have her pattern written down." She led me to her sleeping bag and pulled out a little notebook from underneath it. "Somebody dropped this, or maybe I found it in the pen before I got here. She gives us notebooks and toys sometimes to keep us busy, but I've been using it to track her schedule. She'll be asleep again in about 3 weeks." "Then let's start planning," I said, feeling a flicker of hope. "Does she ever let anyone out of the pen?" I asked. "She lets Charles out," Sherry said, referring to the man who'd been there for 30 years and seemed to have no desire to leave. "Why does she let Charles out?" I asked. "She trusts Charles. He used to be a big environmental lawyer, but then the stress got too much for him. He went to the park to, end it all, but she saved him. Now he lives down here with us." "Damn," I muttered. "But what about you? Why are you here?" "I told you my story. I'm down here just like you, and I don't want to be." "But what can we do to make her like us?" I asked, desperate for answers. Sherry shrugged. "I have no idea. She likes it when we pick up after ourselves. She hates automobiles and technology, so whenever you see her, talk about how much you hate technology, okay? Okay, I agreed, eager to do anything that might help. So, Sherry and I cleaned up the pen as best we could, day after day. We also made sure to talk about how much we hated technology, loud enough for Susu, the tree goddess, to overhear. Gradually, she began to like us. I could tell, especially by the way she treated Sherry. She even brought us special food and an extra table. We had a plan. We would stack the two tables on top of each other and climb out of the pen once Susu fell asleep. And finally, the day came. The tree goddess had entered her slumber. Sherry and I started stacking the tables, our hearts pounding with anticipation. But just as we were about to make our escape, Charles shouted, "What are you doing?" "Mind your own business," I hissed at him. But he ignored me and screamed, "Help! Help! Michael's trying to escape! Michael's trying to escape!" Before I knew it, Susu woke up, her eyes glowing red with anger. She glared at me from the pen, her voice booming. "Now you're going to get a real punishment."
Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Mommy Sarah's Story Time. If you enjoyed the stories, please support the channel by liking and subscribing. Remember, my channel is not monetized, and I write most of the content myself. On occasions when I don't, it's sourced through emails from trusted contacts. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. If you're able to, consider making a donation to support our channel. Your support means a lot. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to sharing more stories with you.